Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a short little video. As you can see, we're on hole 13. We're playing a practice on a plat here. But I wanted to talk about my putting. Alright, so a couple people have mentioned I should do a putting video. I don't really know how to do this, but I'm going to try. So over these next 6 holes, anywhere on the green, I don't care what we score. But on the greens, I'm just going to talk through everything I think about while I'm putting. We'll go from there. Hopefully it can help somebody out. I mean, most of the people watching these videos are better players than I am, in general, but we'll see if we can give a little tip that helps somebody, or somebody just starting ends up catching on to this. Hopefully it helps somebody, but we'll go through exactly what I think through every single putt during the rest of this round. All right. And that's where we're at. And in the meantime, you can watch me play a little practice for these last few holes. Hopefully I don't hit any shots that are too good. We're going to want to have some longer putts for this video, I feel like. All right. 2 inches downhill, 155s. Not super fast. They are quick, but not anything too nervous. First thing I look at, past the hole. Right? Downhill past the hole. I do not want to miss longer than like here, preferably. If we miss further than that, it could go all the way off. Where it sits normally on downhill putts is I usually shorten it a little bit. There's no science to how I putt. I'm very much a field putter, so I'd probably bring this back to about here. Sometimes I won't zoom in. I'll just, I'll do it from where I am. You might not notice it. Anyway, I get my distance lined up the way I want it, and then I start reading. I read from the ball to the pin, right? It's not rocket science. This putt's going to move kind of everywhere, right? This first putt, I have to judge how much is it going to move it to the left at the speed. It's going to have a lot of speed when it starts. I don't think it's going to move it that much. I'm just going to move on to the middle of the putt. It might push it back right. It might just keep it straight. We're not going to play a ton there. And then at the very end there, this line that it's on, it's going to break. It's probably going to push the ball a couple inches at the end there, because it's going to have no speed at all. So it's a weird putt. It's a tough putt considering it's pretty straight. It actually might be just nearly straight. I'm probably going to play this left edge. I expect this first line to move it just a little bit, the middle lines to move it back, and then that last line to push it inside the cup. My line was horrendous. I pushed it offline, so it's going to miss by a mile. I also overhit it. So, pretty bad putt. Pretty bad putt to start. 3 minutes into the video, and we hit a horrible one. That's okay. That is okay. Moving on. See if we can, we'll see if we can score. This is round number 2 of Plat. Luckily, we had just a tiny bit of time to play today, so got a couple rounds in. Tempo's feeling a lot better. I'm hoping it translates into next week's TGC rounds, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Every day is a new day on this game, so it can be tough sometimes. Pretty big push. Come back down the hill. It's going to be another downhill putt. Again, we're going to shorten it up a bit. Maybe just a little more this time. It's pretty well downhill past the hole as well. These downhill putts, you can't be too aggressive with them, unfortunately, and it makes the putt a lot harder too. So we're reading how far this is going to push this offline to the left, and then obviously it's going to come back a little bit harder to the right at the very end with no speed again. So not rocket science. Pretty similar situation. I'll probably start this maybe like right edge. This first line, the one that my cursor is sitting on, it'll probably straighten the ball out, and then I'm going to count on that last line to pull it back over.
Nice stroke.
There we go. We had a good putt that time. That's not an easy putt per se, because it's very hard to tell sometimes how much at that speed the first putt that first line is going to move the ball. So that's a horrible swing. We're going to get lucky, though. It's going to bounce back to the left. See if we can get one on. Maybe make a long eagle putt here or something if we get lucky. D-loft this down. Try to hit it into the hill. And then let it, just bounce up there. It's a pretty big push. The line is just horrendous today. Setting up here now, but we're okay. That's a bad swing. 16 feet to go. Well, at least we have to look at a putt now. 4 inches uphill. It's uphill past the hole, so we can be pretty... Like, this is an aggressive spot for us to start out. Normally, I'd maybe pull this back to here, but we might just leave it. It's uphill, plenty uphill past the pin, so I don't have to worry about going too fast. Also, they won't break as much uphill. So, whatever you think they're going to break, they probably breaks just slightly less. This is going to break pretty consistently from the start of the putt to the end of it. It's going to have so much speed at the start. I don't expect too much out of it. And then it should start breaking here. Another good putt. Like I said, it's not... I know some people, they'll use the grid as, in this many feet, I'll move it out to this line of the grid. For me, it's too complicated to try to play it like that. Or they'll say, for every 2 inches downhill, you'll come back a full box. Or I don't know the exact theories on how some of the people do it. Whatever works for you is fine. For me, it's just, I pull it back to wherever it looks good. I've played a lot of this game, so, it takes a lot of practice too, but...
A little bit off on that swing.
We're not going to get the putt after that swing.
Well, we missed the green, but that's all right.
That's good.
And from the green side bunker.
I guess I can talk about my green side bunkers and stuff too. I mean, 70%, I love to put full backspin, full loft, does nothing to the distance of the club, right? So this distance is the exact same as this distance out of a bunker. So 70%, I don't do exact math on splash shots. You can, and I'm sure it works out fine, but if I'm 66, 73% at this 23-yard mark, normally I would go here. Where it's a little bit of a longer splash shot, I'm going to probably go here. We have that downhill in front of the pin there, so probably just going to try to land it on there. It should kick forward, and then hopefully it'll stop. We hit it way... well, we got the high end of the range is what I think happened there. That flew... I mean, that flew a lot of the way. So 1 inch downhill, I pulled it back. We can be a little bit more aggressive because there's nothing dangerous behind the hole, but for the sake of reading the green, I always want to keep it within, a couple feet past the hole, ideally. You're not always going to hit it how you want, but... And then I'm just reading. I'm envisioning the ball as it turns, So it's not going to turn a ton at the start. And then when it hits the second line, I guess, where that one's the hardest line, it's going to start pulling that ball pretty hard here. And it's going to break hard the whole way. Luckily, since, hole 13, we've made 3 putts in a row that were... they weren't easy putts. They're putts that a lot of good players will make, but they're not easy by any means. These greens on this course, actually, that's why I thought of it. I was playing this, and these greens have a ton of movement to them, so this was kind of a great spot to just take a couple holes, make a short, whatever it's going to be, probably like 11 or 12 minute video. I could edit out all the shots and just make this putting. I probably won't, though. I'll probably leave the whole thing. We'll see what happens. All right, 1 inch down. I'm going to pull it back a couple inches. It was past the hole. I don't want to go long here. Even though that doesn't look dangerous back there, if we overhit, and I never hit the power correctly. So when you have the white power, that's the correct power. I'm always aiming at, like, I get that vibration, right? And it's 1 to 2% extra. So that's another reason why I'll pull back just a little bit, because I know I'm going to hit 1 to 2% more than, is necessary for the putt. And that's just part of how I putt. If you can hit the correct power every time, you're going to want to change your cursor distance, a little bit. So for me, it's 1 to 2% extra. And it doesn't make a huge difference on the putt, but it is just enough that it could screw you sometimes. This one is going to start breaking kind of tough, just because it's going to be a low-speed putt the whole way. And it's going to break a ton there at the end. That last line's moving quite a bit. There I go, hitting the perfect power. But I brought too much back, right? So if I had hit that, my correct power, 1 to 2% extra, it might trickle in the low side of the hole. It doesn't, and we missed because of it. And that's okay. That's the other thing. You're not going to, you're going to miss easy putts in this game. There are going to be putts where it shows the ball moving near the hole and then it doesn't. Weird things happen with this. Maybe. I think I might hit this long and just try to get a long uphill putt into this. This should roll out down this hill. Yeah. So, you hit it long. It's a long, long uphill putt. It depends on your putting stats, but I've noticed for the most part, the starting cursor on uphill putts is pretty good. You'll have to see, with your build, if that's the same for you, but it's been that way for me for a long time. My putting starts are not, they're not that high, so if they're super fast, I'm not going to touch this at all. 155s, I'll probably leave it. If it's a slower, if they're slower greens, if they're like 130s, I probably move this up to here, just to make sure it gets there. Because again, it's uphill past the hole too, so you don't have to worry about blowing it by. These first couple lines are almost going to do nothing to the ball, because this ball is going to be fucking flying up this hill. So we're almost going to not even worry about these first two lines that are breaking off to the right. The next ones that are breaking left are a little bit more severe. Those are definitely going to move the ball. The ones moving back to the right are not going to do anything to it. And then we get another left breaking line right at the cup. So I'm probably going to play this. It's not going to move a ton. It's really not. We're what? Maybe a few 4 or 5 inches maybe outside the cup. We hit it just a little too firm. If we had hit that correct power, these two lines probably bring that in. We hit it a little firm, we end up missing. That's okay.
Looking pretty good.
This one we didn't give enough. See, so my mark was fine.
And for the final hole, that one
I needed to hit it harder. On those short putts, that was like a 5-footer. Downhill, one breaking line, right? A little extra power. So instead of that 1 to 2% extra, probably trying to get 5% extra. You blow it right through that line, and boom, it hits the back of the hole and drops. When you hit it correct power, it misses low. So regardless, hopefully that helped you guys. If you like, this type of content, let me know. I'll try to make more of it. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.